Marhaba, good morning and welcome to this week's video blog from GEMS Wellington Academy Al Khail, or WIC, as you probably recognise it if you're watching this. Now, you may be wondering why I'm dressed in another very loud t-shirt today like I was last week. There is a reason for that. I'm not going to tell you just yet, but I'll tell you in a moment. First of all, I just want to apologise for last week's Staff Star of the Week winners, which I didn't mention. So our Staff Stars of the Week last year were our Year 7 tutor team. Miss Lara, Miss Ezra and Sally Hill, who've done a fantastic job answering loads and loads of queries from Year 7 parents. It's quite a difficult year group that because they're moving from primary to secondary, so often lots of questions. So that's why they were nominated and that's why they won. And then that means I won't forget to mention this week's Staff Star of the Week, who's someone who you may have seen but not very much. He does a lot of his work behind the scenes, and his name is Phil Vyas, and he supports the PE team in many, many ways so that they can do their job in the way that you come to recognise. So well done to Phil. We really appreciate the work that he does. Okay, so let's come back to this t-shirt. Sorry, the t-shirt clashes a bit with the board that I'm standing behind. I hope you can still see me here. So the reason I'm wearing this is because this morning I started to play some football. So I've come out of retirement. I've been retired from football for a little while now because I'm getting a bit past it, but I came out of retirement this morning to playing goal for the staff football team against the students. And the reason we had a staff football match against the students is all connected with the house system and the way that we're running the house system this year. So I've got another guest speaker. It's always great to have guests in my video blog. So I've invited Mr. Neil Colbeck, who is not only our new head of EAL, but also he's in charge of revamping the house system. So he's joined me to talk a little bit about what we're doing. So I'm just going to ask Neil to come in here. Do you want to come a bit closer, Neil?
Good morning, Colin.
We get you in. Good morning, great to see you. So we're standing in front of the Ruby house board, Ruby, one of our 4 houses. Now, houses are a very common thing in schools in the UK, very common in many Dubai schools. So can you tell me a little bit about you? You've come with a lot of experience from Wellington Silicon Oasis of really revamping their house system. Tell us a bit, first of all, why you think the house system is so important.
Well, there's so many reasons why the house system is so important. I think particularly it's important for our students. It offers such a platform for them to be leaders in today's world, and our students at GEMS Wellington Al Khail are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So we need to prepare them. So we've got a number, as you can see here, we've got some house captains, and they'll have a number of leadership roles. They'll go on a leadership course, and that's really a great way to sort of develop their own skills personally. I think also, as you said, it ties in with this great sporting theme of competition and supporting our WEC learner profile and developing that system of house points and that friendly element.
Okay, so let's talk about house points. So what can students do to get points for their houses, not just for themselves, but also for their houses?
So many different things they can do to get house points. So obviously on a weekly basis, they have the Crucial 13 in the secondary school. So that's one example.
What's
where
Crucial 13? Can you explain that for the people watching this?
Of course, Crucial 13 is where they have all different elements of their stationery, so maths equipment, pens, rulers, exercise book, reading book, calculator, everything that they need to be an excellent or outstanding student. So that's one way on a day-to-day basis. They can also, within each lesson, they can have opportunities where teachers will give 2 house points per lesson. So that gives them, again, a regular, continuous opportunity for them to gain house points.
Okay, we can bring in the WEC learner profile here because this year we're not giving house points just for good work, because that's really emphasising the outcome rather than the process. So we really are focusing on, you get a house point for being a good critical thinker, for being a risk taker, for being an independent learner. So this WEC learner profile is really, really important. You can't get house points for anything that isn't linked to this. So that's really important too.
Absolutely.
So how does that link to what we were doing this morning? So
well, I mean, it's part of, so in the secondary school there was 28, if you got 28 house points, then you've got a number of different rewards programs. So it's all part of celebrating success via the house system and via that house point system. So further to that, we've got a whole school competition called the Identity Competition. There's 4 parts to that, where students have to pick a house celebrity, they have to create a house chant, a house song, and a house animal, and decide why they are Ruby, what's the identity of Ruby, what makes them Ruby as opposed to Onyx or Emerald.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, well, I hope that gives you an idea of where the house system is developing. Just want to say to you, if you're a parent at school, if your child is in a house, that means you're in a house. So please be proud of your child's house. Come and support them in house events. It'd be great to see you at house events. We're trying to put more and more of those on to really strengthen the house system. Just a quick link to sports as well, just to tell you that we decided we need a mascot. We feel that we should have a proper name and a mascot for our sports team. So we had a vote amongst the students and they decided that they want to call themselves the Wet Warriors. So all our sports teams now are Wet Warriors, which I think is great. That was my favourite name, so I'm glad that the students voted for it. And very soon we'll have a nice little mascot to go with that, so that we'll have that on our shirts. You'll see that around the place as well. So do support the house system, really, really important. Very happy to be standing in front of the Ruby house board. I'm not in a house because I'm told I have to be neutral for judging house competitions, which is a bit disappointing really. I'd like to be in a house, but there we go. I have to kind of do what I'm told, I guess. So there we are. That's it for this week. Thanks very much, Daniil, for coming and talking about the house system. Do keep an eye out on the boards as you come in. And as ever, can I wish you a great weekend with your families. Ma salama, goodbye. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ma salama.